Hello, my name is Justin and today I'm going to be showing you how to install the N2MB WOTBOX. By all means, I'm no trained professional, but I'm going to give this a shot and I'll see how it goes. An extremely important step in this is to lower your windows, because in case you need to get into the car, our window roll up and roll down mechanism, if you forget to roll down your windows and you try to shut your door after opening it, you will break your glass. Alright, so first you want to remove your negative battery cable. Once you have the terminal removed, you want to cover either piece to make sure there is no battery contact while during this installation. Alright, next up we got to remove the front passenger side wheel to get access to the fender liner. Now, to remove the fender liner, you usually have one little screw here, one there, and one right there, except mine are missing right here, so I only have this one, and yeah. The trick to getting these out is to use very, very light pressure and twist, just so it comes out like this, and then you grab it, and you pull, and that releases it. It shoots out randomly. I forgot to mention there is one more here, and that will allow you to completely remove this fender liner. Next up, you want to get inside the car and remove the passenger side kick panel. There will be a grommet back here, which you need to find a way to mount from in here back out to over here. This is a little bit flappy, so you can find it pretty easily, but that's the grommet. Forgot to mention, additionally, to get access to the grommet, you do have to remove the rear fender liner as well. That way you can actually drill your hole from here, because it's a lot easier than inside the car. A little trick I use to get it into the grommet is to get a zip tie and bunch the end together so it's all straight on this, and then just punch it through. It keeps the wires together so you don't have to do it one by one. As you can see, I drilled my hole just a tiny bit too big, so what I'm going to do is get some hot glue and seal it from the outside. What you want to do is you want to pull those wires all the way through so your watt box basically ends up right there, and then you can pull your box back and mount it wherever you want. You can mount it inside here if you route it back through here. You can mount it up here so you can see the flashing light when it's working. You could mount it right here, right here, right here. You can mount it anywhere. Just make sure you have enough wire. Another important note is there is a very short black wire. Do not forget to bring this out so it can go through and be the ground. You may run into a slight issue. The ground wire is quite short and it doesn't really reach where it's supposed to be grounded, which is right there. What you can do is, these wires, they supplied them extremely long. You can just shorten one of them and label it as ground, and that way your ground will be able to reach. You are supposed to buy a 7/16 grommet, but I forgot to do that, and hot glue should be good. It's best to remove the battery and glue it from the top as well, but bottom should be okay. Should hold it fine. You want to route your wires along the side of the fender. You can use braided loom to protect the wires and create an increased aesthetic, but you can also use zip ties basically to hold the wires together. Depending on the age of your car, it may be difficult to remove these, so a trick is to use a flathead screwdriver and pry it out. That way, it just comes right out. The first connection we want to make, indicated in the instructions, is the green WOTBOX wire, which goes to what I believe is the throttle position sensor. No, it's the cruise control clutch switch. So it's going to be in a very difficult place. I found it in the middle of the wires, and what you want to do is you want to find it and you want to kind of peel it out with a flathead screwdriver, and that way you have access to it. Alright, so the first wire you want to solder on is the green wire to the white wire on your first connector, so that will be your top connector for simplicity's sake. The second wire which you want to do, or which I did, was the blue wire to the white wire on your middle connector. And you can see the solder right there. Next wire you need to find is the pink and black wire. It should be at the top of the connector right here. As you see, it is this one. Let me indicate it. Right there on top of my thumb, pink and black. Don't forget to take breaks because you really need your focus for this. It is very intense and it's a lot of work.
Come in, I could seat you by the fire. Listen, listen, there's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright, but I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light, and it might taste bitter when your answer ain't to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away
Now, a trick you can use to help make soldering easier is you can tape the connectors together at the base, and then you can just solder the wires together and it'll hold them. Next up, you want to remove the bus electrical center. You need to take out these 4 bolts. Okay, after you've removed that, you want to remove this box from underneath the box, basically. You want to split it open. There's 2 connectors on each side, and that will reveal the wires which you need to solder. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to find this wire right here. You want to cut it. This is important and it may be confusing. At first I thought you had to splice in the wire, but what you have to do is cut it so the power goes through this wire to the WOTBOX inside the car, and then comes back out through this orange cable, and then you splice that back in right here. Alright, so once you have those wires welded back, or not welded, soldered in, you're going to put this green cover back on, and then you can start routing everything. Alright, this is what it looks like after routing the wires. I have a few connections right here, one right here, and one right here. And I had my red and orange wires a little bit long, so they're just tucked underneath there. I'll do something with those later. I think I might loom this because it does look pretty out there on the car, and the rest is loomed, as you see. Oh, that needs to be replaced. Yeah, that's pretty much it so far. I think the rest is just reassembly. Alright, be smarter than me and attach the extended orange cable. Well, I'm using, wherever it is, the orange cable to the ground before you install it into the ground bit and do all your wiring, because now I'm gonna have to re-glue this. Be smarter than me. Alright, once you feed that wire through and solder it all up, just like this, there may be a little bit like that sticking out, but that's alright. You are going to bring this wire over and ground it right here. You want this to be as clean as possible, so what I'm going to do, and what you can do, is you can either use sandpaper or a Dremel to clean up the area. I'm going to use a Dremel. Alright, that's it. All you gotta do. That's it. I'm serious. It's that simple. Basically, you install your fender liners back onto the car, and then put the wheel back on and clean up. Test it out. If it works, it works. I'm actually going to test it out without putting this stuff on because I think it'll make it a little bit quicker. You can do the same, but that's it. Let's see. Alright, testing out the WOTBOX. The first step is to floor the gas pedal with the engine off. and it should start blinking, which it isn't, which means there's something wrong. It says I need to check on the WOTBOX blue wire, so let's go check what's going on. Alright, so looking at connection on the pin, it seems that there are two white wires. I guess I must have tapped the wrong one, so I guess you'll have to experiment when you install this and see which one you need to tap. This white wire I found sort of towards the middle of the connector rather than on the outside, so let's see if this one works. At the wire that I tapped, there is a very slight yellow line on it. That's because this car is about 10 years old, and these wires are fading, and the colors on them are. So this one, looking at it very closely, there's no line. It's pure white. This should be it then. Alright, everything's back in. I have the battery connected again. Pin's good. All connectors are in. Let's go check. Okay, if the light flashes, we're good. And it flashes. Now, next test is the clutch. You have to press it all the way in, and if the light flashes, you're good as well. Okay, that isn't good. It was working before, and now it's not. Alright, so depending on your model year, the pins are different. The green, which is the clutch deactivation switch, or the cruise control switch, is B for 2007 to 2009 Mustangs. It's 30T, which means the top connector. B is the middle connector on the Mustangs in 2005 to 2006. So on mine, I was connecting it to the 2006 and 2005 Mustang connector when I should have been connecting it to the middle connector. Alright, doing some testing. It says to press in the gas and then see if it blinks. As you see, it does not. Let's try pressing in the clutch. Okay, so that blinks. Let's try, the proper way to do it is to press in the gas and then the clutch to see if it blinks for a solid second or so. Let's try it the opposite way. So I'm going to put in the clutch and then the gas to see if we have the joints soldered oppositely. Yep, and it's opposite. Let's go fix that. Okay, troubleshooting. Let's see if it's good. Remember, gas pedal to the floor first. If it blinks, you're good on that. Okay. Next, we want to press the gas pedal to the floor and then the clutch. And if it blinks for a second, like a long second, then that is complete. Perfect. Okay, next we have to start the engine, but I don't run cats, so I have to open up my garage to do that and clean up a little bit. Alright, before starting your car and testing out the WOTBOX, make sure you remove everything from your engine bay if you were leaving items in there to work on it. As an example, this could end up in your tire. There goes $200 or $300. This could fall off and damage your headers or something. And this could get caught in the belt, or it could go into the radiator fan and break something. So make sure you remove every single thing. Alright, after letting your car warm up for a bit, it's time to test out the WOTBOX. Okay, so what you have to do is you quickly press the gas pedal all the way to the floor and then immediately step on the clutch. So you'll have to do it really quickly. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that definitely worked. Haha, sweet. Okay, and to test out the two-step, you want to press your clutch to the floor and then floor it. That didn't work. Okay, so let me check and see what else I need to do. Alright, I went to Home Depot, I got some wire loom, and I did a nice wire tuck. looks a ton cleaner. You can still see a little bit of the wire there and over here, but it's very minimal. The way that I did it was the 3 wires that come out here, I tucked into this big one, which already exists because it comes from the factory, and then I added in the wiring right here. You can see it's a little bit darker than this because this is faded from age, but yeah, it looks really good. Alright, I made a mistake. The pink and black wire is coiled up with this gray and yellow wire, and I totally missed it. I had to extend the wire a little bit just because I already bundled everything up, which you can't see. And it's all good. It's on the black and pink wire, not the pink and black wire. There's a big difference apparently. So I'll connect everything up again and we should be good. Alright, so it seems that there must be a wiring issue because when I try and start up the car, of course the yellow wire is the crankshaft position sensor. There must be a wiring issue because when I start up the car, it sputters and it just backfired really loud and then it dies off. So there has to be a wiring issue, and I guess I didn't solder the leads too well, and I'll have to go and get some more solder on each of those ends. Alright, so I resoldered the connection, and let's see and hope that it does not misfire or stutter like it was before. Nope, and it does it again. Alright, as a method of troubleshooting, I unplugged the battery for about 10-20 minutes, and I also unplugged the WOTBOX. If the WOTBOX is causing the problem, that means the car should run fine. If it isn't, and it's a wiring issue, that means there's something going wrong and I have to fix it. I will most likely have to take the wire out, which I soldered in, and then see if everything goes okay. Let's see if the car starts up and backfires again. Hopefully it doesn't. It didn't even start. Silly me, wasn't thinking the WOTBOX literally needs to be plugged in because that controls the coil packs. Otherwise it's just dumping fuel into the engine and it won't start at all. Alright, so what I did was I took out the yellow wire and I plugged everything back up. Now let's go start the car. Hopefully it doesn't backfire again. If it does, I probably screwed something up. And we'll see. Okay. Let's pray for the best. Oh, please. Fuck. Alright, so I resoldered the connection, and right now I'm going to try the fuel injector signal, right? Before this I had it on the ignition signal, so let's see how the fuel injector signal goes. Okay, let's hope for the best. I really don't want it to backfire again. I really hope this does the trick. Okay. Let's do it. Damn. Alright, so after talking with N2MB, basically I found out we can't use or I can't use the crankshaft position sensor on the V6 Mustang because reasons unknown. But what we can do is go over to the injectors and find any injector. Basically, you want to look at each injector. There's 2 wires which go into each of them. There's one wire which will be the same color for each injector, and then there's another wire which will be a different color for each injector. You got to choose any wire. Basically, that helps the signal that is sent. It helps calibrate the timing in the WOTBOX. So that's what I've been told. I'm going to try tapping into the green and brown wire. It's mostly brown, and it has a little bit of a green stripe going down it. It's for the back left cylinder. All right, let's see how that new wire goes. It's all plugged in. Let's start it up. And of course the laptop died. WOTBOX is on. You can't see it, but it's showing a blue. Please don't backfire. Let's hope for the best. Hell yeah, baby. Alright, car seems to be running pretty okay. Doesn't feel like anything's really different about it. I'm about to do the two-step once I get to a little bit of a secluded space so I don't disturb anyone, since this kind of took 16 hours to do. But let's hope for the best and hope that it works. I set it at 2,000 RPMs because I don't want to rev up the engine too high and be too loud, unless it backfires, which then defeats the purpose, but we'll see how it goes.